Mike, we go into a short introduction towards your
Hmm.
whole ecosystem, and you decide where you run it from there, if you start with Foxy or any of the other areas.
Okay, perfect. So a little bit about Foxy and Foxy on Roburna. It's been something that's been in the works for quite a while now, a number of months. We did originally launch the token on Roburna, the previous iteration of Roburna, and since Roburna has been rebuilding, Foxy has been rebuilding as well and adding lots of really cool utility. So Foxy is the meme that is going to launch obviously on Roburna mainnet as soon as mainnet comes live. We want to be up there and launching as soon as the mainnet is live. Right now we are live on Testnet, and that is Foxy Meme and FoxySwap. So FoxySwap is an entire ecosystem of projects, and those projects include, of course, the swap. The swap comes with also something that we don't often see in a lot of the swaps, and that is the limit orders. We also have a Launchpad, something like what you see typically with Pump.fun or some of those type of Launchpads, but of course not on Solana, on EVM. So on Roburna in this case, but it is certainly EVM compatible. And we also have a pretty extensive NFT marketplace. So that's been coming along really nicely, and it's a beautiful NFT marketplace. So those are really the big pieces of the ecosystem, and these are things, when we talked about what are the projects that we're going to build, we want things that are going to be useful for you, the people that are coming to Foxy and FoxySwap.net, that projects that you're going to use. So certainly the big things, the NFT marketplace, the big thing, the Launchpad, which makes it really easy to launch a token. Of course, the swap with limit orders. There is staking. I didn't mention staking, but there's staking there as well. So it is a really cool ecosystem. It brings a lot of utility to Roburna. I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's very functional. It's very operational. It's very just cool utility that I think people will want to use on a daily basis. And that's kind of the utility that we want to build out. We want to build out something that you're going to use on a daily basis. So that in a nutshell is the Foxy ecosystem. What also comes with Foxy, through I'll call it the parent company, Wall Street Satoshi Media, we have a couple of little projects that will also launch on Roburna. Those projects are Green Bitcoin, which I think is just kind of a cool little project unto itself, to actually have a green Bitcoin, something that's not mining, something that's not using up resources from our planet, something that's very green, but something that's also pretty cool, having a green Bitcoin on Roburna. So the other one is Mi Vida, and this is a project that I've been working on for quite a while, and there's a little bit of, let me say, family history, I guess, in this one. My wife is originally from Colombia. We have connections in the coffee business in Colombia, and her brother actually is going to be the one managing this project. So it will be run sort of separately from Foxy and FoxySwap, but it is a project within our little ecosystem here, and it will have a little bit of a mix of Web 2 and Web 3. So it will be unique in our project, certainly with Web 2 and Web 3. So it will be a coffee token, and it will be most likely a Shopify store. We're looking at Shopify to do the merch and accessories and the coffee sales. So that in a nutshell, that is the Foxy ecosystem, and the utility that we are going to be bringing to Roburna. So I wanted to keep this fairly short because we haven't had a lot of success getting the word out here with a couple of chances on X, but that is Foxy, and I encourage people to go to foxymeme.com, go to the website, have a look at the website, go to FoxySwap.net. You can play with the swap, play around with it, have fun with it, look through the whole ecosystem. If you want to launch a token right now, you can launch a token. If you want to launch an NFT right now, you can launch an NFT. Just remember that this is all on testnet. It is live on testnet. You'll have to get your testnet tokens, and just up in the right corner of the FoxySwap application, there is a link to the Roburna faucet, so you can get your RBAT tokens, so you can start playing and have fun. And I certainly encourage everybody to do that. And if you do run into any issues with testing, you can certainly let me know in the socials. I'd like to entertain any questions now, Lars. Anything specific? I can answer questions, and then if there's anything else specifically that you would like me to talk about, I can talk about that.
Obviously, if anybody in the community should have any questions, please let us know, and then we will be happy to go over those. Obviously, you mentioned that you can launch a token and you can launch an NFT. Where do people go to get access to these utilities, and how exactly does it work? Because obviously, many tools is appearing in DeFi at the moment. What makes you special, and what is it exactly that you can do with these tools? But I was sitting on the website trying to find the deployment tool, and I haven't been able to find it so far.
Let me explain the website just a little bit. If you go to foxymeme.com, let me just pop it up here, and right on the main page, the home page, there's a buy box right there which says FoxySwap on it. If you just click on that, that brings you to foxyswap.net. So that is the application. Now, top right, there's a menu bar that says trade, liquidity, analytics. The faucet link is there as well. And then there's a wallet link. If you click on that, that's going to give you all the stuff that's in your wallet. That I think is pretty cool. So below the buy box, we've got a couple of links down there, and this is just for kind of ease of use, I guess, for now. The bottom is going to look more like the top menu bar, but on the bottom when we're all done. So this is just kind of placeholders really now as we're building and testing. But underneath the buy box, it says now testing order book limits. So you can click on that and get the order book limits. Underneath that, it says bonding curve launchpad initial test. So if you click on that, that's going to launch the launchpad where you can launch a token. I'll get to that in a sec. Next, it says Foxy gets to market. So you can view the beta of Foxy Market there. After that is the staking, and then there's a little bit of information on permit 2, which is something that's built into the swap as well, which is actually kind of cool. So if you go to bonding curve launchpad and click on that link, that brings you to the bonding curve launches, and we've just called it bonding curves for now rather than foxy.fun or something like that. But that brings up the all of the tokens you can see that have been launched on the launchpad. So there's a card view and there's a table view. Up on the top left where it says bonding curve launches, there's something that says tokens and there's something that says launch. If you click on launch there, that brings up your token page where you can actually launch a token. So in there, you put the token name, the token symbol. You can put a URL to the logo, add a description. You can put a website link in there. You can put your socials in there, so your Twitter and your Telegram. And for tokenomics, underneath, you can put whatever your total supply is that you want for total supply. You can put your initial reserve, and that will be whereas the reserve tokens, which are deposited at launch. And then you can put, this is target market cap. That would be kind of like your minimum market cap for launch. So say I wanted, if I was doing a traditional, pink sale kind of thing, I would call it maybe my soft cap. So if I'm, getting past my soft cap, then the token is good to launch. So that's what the target market cap is. That's kind of what you want for your launch market cap. So if I wanted to launch with a 10K market cap, for example, I would put 10K in there, 10,000. And as you're entering the information in this page, you're going to start seeing this stuff populating. So you'll see your symbol come up as you put your logo URL in there. You'll see the symbol come up as you put your symbol in there, that kind of stuff. And on the right side of the page, where you're seeing right now, untitled token, that will start populating as well. And once you have all the information in there, you just click on the bottom launch token, and you have a token. It is that easy, really, really that easy. And that's by design. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for anybody to launch a token. And if you look at if anybody's been on Solana and launched a token on Pump Fund, you'll see that it is quite similar to this. In fact, I think maybe it has a little bit less, but quite similar to this. Of course, you want your socials, you want your Telegram, you want your website on there, a little description, a logo, token name, token symbol, and what your launch market cap is. So this is working. It's working well. You can see if you go to tokens, a bunch of stuff that's already been launched on there just for testing. They're at various stages of bonding, and some have bonded, so they will show in the cards or in the table, whichever you choose there, it'll show the ones that have bonded. And then those can go quite easily and be added to the swap. So it's all sort of integrated, right? Any questions about that, Lars?
So you say that it works kind of like a pump fund, but here you have more modifications than you have on the actual pump fund, because obviously pump fund have a preset market cap, preset supply. I was just sitting here and trying to make a little deployment while we are speaking. Launches are currently disabled by factory. Okay, so that's why I couldn't deploy. I just tried to fill out the information just to see how it actually worked. As I say, I
Okay.
haven't played around with it yet, but it looks very, very interesting, and definitely an interesting way of doing these. So that means that all the bundling curves will then be filled by the Roburna token, right?
That is correct. Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I am just looking on here. I don't see we're disabled, but we're still testing. I just want to make a note for everybody. We are still testing all of this stuff, so there will be occasions when you see that something may not be working, and that could be very well that something is being done behind the scenes. So it may not always work. Of course, that's why we're testing on testnet, right? Yeah, it's obviously, say I'm going to deploy, let's go to the cards here, click on tokens, and the first one you see there is Flight Simulator. It's 97.4% bonded. And if you click on open, it's going to open up that card, and it's going to give you some additional information there. There will be a price chart there at some point. That's not working here just yet. Let me see what else there. There's a bunch of links on the top, so you can go to the pool address. You can go to the pool on view pool on Explorer. You can copy the token address. You can look at the token on Explorer. You can send a token. So there's a link there to send a token. Let's see what happens. So there's a recipient and amount if you want to send there, and all the additional other information you can see for each individual token that's been launched.
It looks very, very interesting. Obviously, I'm interested to see what is the actual parameters, because when you can put a reserve and everything, then you must have a price calculation feature. That could be quite cool to add on, so people can actually see, what is the different price, because obviously the bigger the
Yes.
reserve, the faster the price should move on the bonding curve, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. So
Yep.
this is something that we'll be very, very happy to look more into. And obviously, we would like to take it into our test group in the Roburna Testnet group as well, and let our community actually play around with the setup here. And what is your fee structure on this platform? Is it kind of connected into the Foxy token, or is it separate? Is it a Launchpad that's separate, just like Pump Fund, or is it an inbuilt ecosystem where you can say the activity here fuels the Foxy token?
So no, it is not that connected yet, but we're thinking about how to do that. So each of these is an individual, it's on its own kind of. It's not connected at all to the Foxy token. The Foxy token at this point is separate, but I think the Foxy token eventually will be integrated into the swap as essentially the swap token, like Cake is the token for Pancake Swap.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're building a whole ecosystem there, just similar to these liquidity provision tokens. Like obviously we have Cake on BSC,
Right.
we have Uni on Ethereum,
On
which are
Ethereum.
quite strong and quite big ecosystems overall.
And to get back to your first question, I don't think I answered it. Sorry. Yeah, you use wrapped ARBA. So it's the wrapped ARBA that you use to deploy these tokens. So you do have to do the little, and it's a free swap to swap your Roburna for wrapped Roburna.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Okay.
and I think it will show right now. It will show Ethereum, but once we finish up the testing here, that'll get fixed to show Roburna.
Okay. Well, very, very interesting. I cannot wait to try launch my own token here on Testnet. I'm not sure exactly what happened when I tried to launch, but I'm gonna look more into it. I can see after I reloaded and clear my cache in my browser, then the whole board have changed a little bit, so it might be me who jumped in too early. Obviously, I visited this site some time ago, but I know my team have already been looking into your platform, so I'll definitely try to launch a testnet token here and see how your ecosystem actually works. So very, very interesting launchpad that you have made here. The next one that I can see on the list here is the NFT Marketplace. That's very interesting. And now you call it Foxy Market, right? Is it something that's also connected directly into the token, or for now it works like a regular NFT marketplace?
So again, for now, it works like a regular NFT marketplace, but eventually the plan is to have it all tied into the token. And of course, all tied in, pretty tightly to Roburna and RBAT and wrapped Roburna RBAT token, right? But yes, it is not tied directly to the Foxy token right now.
Okay. Very,
Mhm.
very interesting. I like your UI. Obviously, I'm in love with the green, right? People
Yeah.
who people who know me know that I love the green, green t-shirts, green everything. Right now I'm looking at making some green hoodies and green jackets for the winter. So yeah, I definitely love the color scheme and the Foxy, which started as a meme, but now it feels like it's not so much a meme anymore. Something that I've had a look at over the last year-ish, I think, since you presented it to me first time. So I'm definitely very, very interested to see what you have done here. And then you are mentioning something about staking pools as well. How does these staking pools, how does that work?
Okay, so I was going to say we didn't really talk too much about the NFTs, but people can just come here and have a look. Some of them aren't loading, so there might be an issue there right now with the API or something, but let me get over to staking now. So if we go back to trade up top and go down to where are we, token staking and deployments. So that's where you can see the staking page. And again, active staking pools. And you'll see the cards here. You'll see we have Foxy and there's a crab token there. There's Roburna and Foxy. There's a USDC, I think, on there. There might be oh yeah, look, there's a wombat on there too. So what you can do here is me as a project owner can set up staking pools. Of course, needed to be funded with our Foxy, with our wrapped Roburna, because I think this one uses wrapped Roburna as well. So we can set up the staking pools, and then if I want to contribute to the pool, hit open on the card. I can go to open, you can see the APR, you can see the stake value, you can see each of the tokens, the stake token, the reward token, which all of that I can set up. And then you can put the amount in that you want to provide for rewards for your stake tokens. So again, pretty straightforward, I think, fairly easy to use. And of course, you have to have the number of tokens that you plan to stake and you plan to reward in your wallet, so you can set that up.
So if I understand this right, you stake token A, let's say token A, or you stake, for example, Foxy token to earn USDC token. You don't actually earn the Foxy token by staking Foxy. You have the possibility to earn another token from the main token that you're staking.
That is correct, yes. Although if you look on one of the cards I've got there, you can actually also earn Foxy with Foxy token. So yes, you can do both. You can earn Wombat, or you can earn the Crab token, or you can earn USD, assuming those are all set up. Yes.
That's a very, very interesting way of doing it. Obviously, most projects or most staking platforms allow you to make a staking platform and give out a API in your own token, but allowing people to use other tokens is very, very interesting setup. Yeah, this looks very nice. Again, it's a very clean, simple UI. So it looks great.
There's a
So
few little things, yeah, a few little things here and there. I was going to say, like here, the collection button, I'm just looking at it now, that needs to be fixed. But again, that's why we're here on Testnet doing this. And yeah, I really like the UI. You know, we put a lot of thought into this. We wanted it to, you know, I like the Foxy background, so that ties it to Foxy, obviously. And we wanted it to look, obviously, green, being on Roburna is the primary color. So while the buy box itself, we've gone to a little bit darker, you know, more black than green. It was a little too green at first, so maybe we've gone a little too far the other way. But yeah, I like the green theme, which certainly ties it to Roburna and makes it, you know, relevant on a green blockchain. So I like it.
no, I think it looks very, very good, and it has some very nice functionalities. So that's definitely good. I'm just looking here because I'm sitting here on the deployment page of this. So obviously, you can stake. You have the staking addresses, then you have the total rewards, where you put in the total rewards that you're gonna give away, and then it says full limit per user. But what would be the time frame? Because obviously, normally it goes with an API. So let's take a simple example and say I stake 100 tokens on 10% API. That means that I should get 10 tokens a year, depending if the rewards compound or not. But I see here on the deployment page, I don't have the possibility to input this. Is this because you have a fixed time frame that the staking is running for, or how does that exactly work? How does it calculate how many tokens you get per day from staking?
Okay, that's a really good question. And I'll be honest, I don't have the answer for that one. So I'll have to talk to my dev on that one. And I haven't fully tested the staking application. It's certainly on my to-do list, but I don't know. I'd have to ask that, and I'd have to get back to you on that one, Lars.
For sure. And sorry for obviously normally I would have coordinated with you prior. It's only because you mentioned it, and
Yes,
I'm a curious kind of guy, so I took a second device and said, let's click these buttons, let's see what happens. But
yeah.
maybe we should jump back to the marketplace. You said that I jumped over it a little too quick, and there was some things that you would like to mention in regards to the NFT marketplace. And obviously, I'm here to obtain information. I love to learn and love to know what's being built. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about the NFT marketplace and what did I forget when we were there? Because now you made me even more curious.
Okay, so I'm just going to say it's good to be curious, because I'm curious too, and I like to learn too. So it's all good, and any questions are fair game, Lars. No issues there at all. If I don't have the answer, my best answer is I don't know, and I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. So that's exactly what I'll do. Right now, my page for some reason is just not loading that well, and I don't know why. I think there's some changes going on right now. The developers doing some API changes. I think there's some big changes we've done the last couple of days, and they're still being worked on. So that's why it's not quite loading so fast. But some things you'll see here, there's a banner. The banner floating by shows you some of the top NFT collections that have been launched. There's a buy button there, so right away you can go on to the buy. It's going to pop up another page, and that one there said failed to load. So yeah, there's work going on with this page right now. So it's not working as it should be. There's going to be some, I'll say some interesting utility on here, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Let me see if I can find, yeah, that's not going to work. So I don't think the page is going to load, and without it loading properly, I can't show you a lot right there. But if you go to the top where it says buy, list, and earn, there's a button that says start collecting. And just to the right of that, there's a button that says launch token. Unfortunately, that page is not going to load for me. So I just want to say again, the development work is still going on, and not everything is displaying at the moment right now. So I can't actually show you. I wanted to show you create a collection. That's not going to work right now. It's very easy to do. I can say it's a one page. So it's like the Launchpad, very much like the Launchpad to create a token. You can create an NFT collection very similar. So you put the URL in for your logo for the collection. You can put your website, you can put your metadata. And what I like about this one is I can run, for example, my layers through Hashlips, the NFT art engine, which creates all my metadata. Then I can put that metadata on the internet, basically hosted where my website is hosted. I don't need to go to IPFS. I don't need to go to Pinata. I don't need to pay for those services. And then I can just load the metadata from my website essentially into the creation page here. And right away, all of the information is there to create your NFT collection on FoxySwap. So it's super easy to do if you know how to create your NFTs, if you know how to create the layers, and you know how to generate the metadata. It makes it super easy here. Now I know Chrissy, I think, was doing something in her website that that kind of automates that for you, and we're not there yet. So you can't just take a bunch of images, drop them in, and it creates an NFT collection. So it's not quite that easy. You do need to have a little bit of understanding of metadata and what you need to do to build your layers and build your NFTs.
Okay, well, work in progress, and obviously, the whole testing phase is for us to improve our development, right? As I've run a development company for over 14 years, then I know that better than anyone. That obviously, you get to an early MVP, and then you start to improve on it when you have big platforms, the platforms that we all use daily, even platforms like Twitter. They're sitting hundreds of developers on these developments every single day. It's not something that you just build and leave it. There is always improvements to make, and APIs and data points changes all the time. So we need to stay on top of our game when we are having developments. But it's definitely interesting to see what you have built here. A lot of these things I didn't even knew about. So, I'm positively impressed by what you have made so far. And when you feel that you would like to get some mass testing done, where we go in and test deeply in any of your applications, we can take them
Mm-hmm.
one by one. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy to obviously get it into our test group, but we also have some private test groups that are very, very good at going in and debugging because they do that professionally, right? So, whenever you are ready for that stage, let me know, and then we will be happy to go in and help do some testing.
Okay. Okay, absolutely will do. And before we leave the NFT marketplace, I just want to draw your eyes to the banner up on top where it says market collections. Excuse me. So there is a collection in there. You can click on that, and no, it's not going to bring up the page. Anyway, there's collections up there. There's listings, so you can see all the listings. There is an auction button there, so you can do an auction. There's view. There's a lot of functionality on this page, so have a look there. Of course, the create page is not going to work for us today, unfortunately. And there's some links for a little bit of information, tutorial, hash lips, that kind of stuff, metadata, standards, OpenSea, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be, I think, a pretty robust system when it's all done. But as you can see, we're not quite there yet.
Again, it is work in progress, right? We have to start somewhere, and from there we can make it into an alpha product. I'm definitely impressed by what I've seen so far, and obviously we didn't do any screen share today, but we should maybe do a small event when you feel that you're ready for it, where we screen share your platform and we go over the features one by one, and we will also be happy from our end to help make some user tutorials if you don't have tutorials made up already. It's very good to see what you have made, and it's impressive to see how the Foxy meme. Obviously, there's recorded events where you and me speak about Foxy from over a year ago to where you are standing today. This is something that I personally am very impressed of, and obviously I'm proud that you're building all of this on the Roburna blockchain.
Yes, I will say we've definitely come a long way in the past year, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been big changes, obviously with what's been going on in Roburna. And I always like to see the good out of the bad, kind of, if you want to say that way. It's given us an opportunity to kind of focus a little bit more on building the kind of ecosystem that we've wanted to build while the blockchain was down. So it's actually an opportunity, or it's been an opportunity, to do this stuff with Foxy. So that might have taken us a little bit longer, had things not panned out the way they did. But it's been a journey, that's for sure. It's been a journey with Roburna. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey, and absolutely, if there's anything you can do to help, I'd be happy to work with you to help out a little bit for the testing, for sure. And an AMA where we can share screen and show people, certainly once it's in a little bit better shape, we can certainly do that as well. I think that'd be kind of fun to do. So yeah, let's do that.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, it is gonna obviously it has taken a little time for Roburna. Some of it have went into development, some of it have went into security, some of it have went into support some of our partners to make sure that now when we relaunch, as you mentioned yourself, from this time around to last time around, there has been very big improvements, especially in activity. Maybe not so much the activity in our communities, but the activity that you don't see in our public community, you definitely see on the blockchain, right? We have had a lot of transactions, we have a lot of developments, even developments that I still today don't know exactly who is behind and exactly what it is. There is a lot of unverified codes. So I can tell you guys right now, we're sitting with over 600 unverified contracts, which means that it's minimal. Even though I own and build the blockchain, I cannot go in and decode everything. So even though I'm a very curious person to see what are people actually doing, there's so many things that we actually don't know exactly what is being built and by who. But this will only make the mainnet relaunch even more interesting, right? Because when we go live, we can see all of these things. Obviously, people are building for a reason, which means that obviously they will be coming with something at some point, and it will become public at some point, right?
I'll confess too, Lars, we've launched some contracts that we don't want to verify, to give away too much sometimes. But eventually those will all get verified for the world to see.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I did get a little notice before our AMA that there is more things getting built, but we should not dig into that today. So, I'm very, very interested to see everything. I'm very, very happy to see all the progress that you have made. This is huge, what you have built so far. And with the things that I hear in the background, it's only gonna get bigger. So as we prepare now for the relaunch, obviously, I wish you success with everything, and anything that we can do from our end to help is something that we will be very happy to do so. And obviously, we're going to have many more events, not only with you, but with all the partners on the Roburna blockchain. They will always be welcome to get an event. We will essentially find more people who can go in so we can realistically end up hosting daily events showcasing all the things that's going on, because I can tell you guys only what I've gotten over the last week or two of people reaching out to me, wanting to build things or already building things. It is becoming very, very interesting, guys. And when I start to get excited, it's normally because there is something going on. So for me, I'm very, very excited to get this relaunched, and we are very, very soon at that stage where we will go live, and then obviously you will come live, our other partners will come live, and the Roburna ecosystem will start to shape out in its baby steps. Obviously, it's an ecosystem, it's a DeFi network. Anybody can build on it, and we are here for the long term. This is not a 10 minute or 10-second race. This is a long marathon where we keep improving step by step, not only us, but as well our partners. Just as you mentioned yourself, you are also still in an early stage. Any questions from the community before we end today's recording, so we can keep it a nice and clean recording that we can be sharing around? We will be due to host another event here with Foxy on Twitter, where we were originally planned to host an event. I'm not sure exactly what went on today, but luckily we had Telegram come to our savior, and we have now managed to have, I think we're around 45 minutes now of the presentation. So I think we managed to get through it. Anything that you would like to say, Foxy, before we end today's?
I just want to say thank you, Lars, for the invitation to come here and talk a little bit about the project. It's always nice to have that forum, and it's nice to have the Roburna community here as well to listen to what I'm doing with Foxy and what they're going to be seeing on Foxy, or with Foxy on Roburna mainnet when mainnet goes live, and to give them an opportunity to have a look at it on testnet so they can play around with it a little bit. So, and help with testing would be fantastic. So appreciate all of that, Lars. And I am excited too. I'm really excited for the launch of mainnet and getting Foxy and this whole ecosystem up and running and live on mainnet.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I just saw that I missed a question in one of our communities. So there was actually a question asked if there will be an option to add tax on buy and sell on the Launchpad. That was a question coming from Mr. Hopium.
Mr. Hopium. So right now there is no tax on the Launchpad for buy and sell, and that's not something, to be honest, that we really thought about when we were planning this. So I'll say at the moment there isn't, but we'll certainly listen to our users, and if people want these things. Somebody else asked if there was a way to have team tokens. So these are some things that we're looking at, and it would be nice to have something with the Foxy Launchpad that differentiates it, at least a little bit from what Pump Fund and most of the other ones do. And they don't give you those options. So that's a really good question, and I think a very good suggestion. So I'll certainly have a look at it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that's the only question that I've seen. Obviously, we will be hosting more events, and as we go into a public testing when you're ready, I'm sure more questions will come, and then we will bring them to you, or we will host a new event and get answers on all our questions. Now I've gotten access to your full development, so I'm gonna be having some fun tonight and diving deep into everything that you've been building so far. So yeah, thanks very much for coming here and presenting this to our community, and I'm looking forward to reschedule in the coming weeks with you again.
Fantastic. I'd be really happy to come back and really happy to do something on Spaces with you.
Perfect. Well, we will coordinate that in our DMs. Have a great day, great evening, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining in today. The recordings will be made available on our YouTube and be shared on Twitter in the coming days. Have a great evening, everybody, and see you.